You record?
Yep.
We're rolling?
We're rolling.
We're live?
We're live.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Hardworking Happy Hour. I'm Sean.
And I'm Catherine. And as always, we'll be breaking down all things trades, entrepreneurship, and turning your creativity into a passion career.
There you go.
I don't know why I couldn't get that out today.
I know. I'm sure you're going to edit it out, but that was like the fourth time that we had to do the intro. But hey, it's Friday.
It's the end of the week. I guess my brain is just mush
Complete
at this
mush,
point. Yeah.
Jello, nothingness.
Yep.
Yep.
So what are we going to get into this week, Sean?
Oh, this week on the podcast?
On our podcast.
Well, I mean, we always talk about so many great topics. You'd think we're running out of them, but we're not. And I would say that is one of my strengths, is coming up with podcast ideas, which leads right into what we're going to be talking about, strengths and weaknesses.
Yeah.
We're going to be talking about our own strengths and weaknesses, whether you should just solely leverage your strengths and outsource your weaknesses, or you need to do a little bit of both, or you should let your strengths carry you and just work on improving your weaknesses. We're going to get into all that.
Yeah.
I think it's important.
It's a hot topic, you know? There's a lot to discuss.
It's a hot topic?
Yeah.
Is it trending?
Maybe.
Could be. You know what? I bet it will be after
It
this
probably will be.
It probably will be after
Probably
this
will be.
episode.
Hashtag strengths v weaknesses.
Yep.
All right. Well, before we get into it,
Yeah.
how was your week?
My week was pretty good.
Yeah?
Pretty good.
Pretty good?
Aunt was back from vacation.
Yeah.
Thank God.
We really missed him.
Yeah, we did, as always. And we're finally starting to turn the corner on this massive project that we're doing. The interior of this crazy addition is almost done, and it feels good.
Yeah.
Feels really good. It was pretty hot again.
It was pretty hot. Yeah.
Pretty hot again, but
Yeah, the project feels like for a long time they just kept adding things to the project.
Yeah.
And it kind of feels like now all the ends are kind of like all those things that they were thinking about adding, they've made decisions on now. So
Yeah.
it kind of feels like today we've gotten to the end of the road of them adding things, which who knows? But for right now,
I'm gonna make
that feels good.
No more add-ons to
Yeah.
this project. We've added on way too much stuff,
Yeah.
but sometimes that's the beauty of it.
Yeah.
That's how the projects evolve and turn into insane projects.
Yeah.
They start out like really cool, and then stuff gets added, things get changed a little bit, and at the end of the day, it's all for the best.
It's going to be a cool project.
It's gonna be so cool.
I can't wait for these after pictures. They're going to be
It's gonna be insane. The
Chef's kiss.
only thing that's like not so great about it, it's so big that the drone shots we're going to be like
so
so
far away.
from
Yeah.
to be able to get everything. So
Yeah.
we might have to do like a compilation of
Yeah.
closer drone pics, because it's just such a huge amount of square footage that we're building over.
That's true.
But good problem to have.
Yeah.
So
Can't complain.
how was your week? I'm sorry. I just rambled
Oh,
on. I
God,
didn't
that
even
was
ask
so
you.
rude. Yeah,
I
that was really rude.
apologize. I'm working on that.
No, my week was great.
Great?
Yeah, I've had a great week. I discovered this new alarm clock app,
Oh,
which I don't know if we
I was going to talk about it later.
Oh, were you?
I guess it's your right to do it because you were the one that found it and told me about it. But
Well, yeah.
might as well talk about it now.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah. I just wanted the credit for it.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's okay.
You can fully take credit for it.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
Well, it's called Alarmy, and what you do is you set your alarm and then you choose a challenge. So each day when you wake up, you either have to do squats or you can choose a picture of like your coffee maker. So every day you have to go take a picture of your coffee maker before the alarm will shut off. Well, it like stops buzzing, so it's not annoying.
yeah.
but
yeah.
it will-
It has like a countdown.
It has like a countdown,
Yeah.
yeah. So at the end of the countdown, if it's, if you haven't done it, it'll keep going off.
Yep.
Or you can do like motivational quotes that you have to type or math problems.
Yep.
I think I might be forgetting some. But anyway, it has helped me so much this week. And my new wake up time is 4:45. And I type up my motivational quotes, which is like a bonus. Like I get to have these
You
nice
get
quotes.
right frame of mind.
Yeah.
Love that.
So I've started on that. I feel like this week I've really, I feel like I was sick for like the sickness that I had just kind of lingered and it was kind of a bummer. But now I've turned a leaf and I feel like I'm hitting meditation hard. I'm really reading a ton and I'm exercising. So
All good
I'm
things.
hitting all of our gold star things. Yeah.
That
Can't complain.
alarm clock app, I've only used it 2 days so far, but I feel like it will be one of, when I write my memoir, it will be one of the things that will be the most monumental things in my life. It is absolutely amazing. Like, we've been doing really good, I think, at waking up. We had been waking up at 5.
Yeah.
You told me about this alarm clock app, said I'm going to switch to 4:45, and I said, okay, I'll go for that. That extra 15 minutes is great.
It makes a huge difference.
It makes a huge difference. It works so well. I set it to
really
squats. So, because normally I would wake up, I would like dismiss the alarm on my phone, and then I would just be like maybe laying there sometimes scrolling on my phone, and like I would be in like a sleepy stupor for a little while before I was like really awake. So I set it to squats because I thought best way for me to just like get up and really wake up right away, movement.
Yeah.
So it goes off. You have to have both your thumbs on the screen and then do 20 squats, and then it'll go off. And by the end of 20 squats, you're like, okay, well, I'm not going to go back to bed.
Yeah.
I just did 20 squats. So great way to start your day. In the first 10 seconds of waking up, you're squatting.
Yeah. I think I'm going to switch to squats. I was on motivational quotes, which I do really like, but I didn't do squats originally because I thought I would wake up Pat next to me, and he'd be like, why are you it's the middle of the night. Why are you squatting?
Yeah. How late?
But
how,
I don't
how
care
loud
anymore.
Do you
He's going to
squat?
have to. Well, I think wouldn't that, I guess maybe if it doesn't wake Sarah up, then maybe it's not that big of a deal. But I feel like if someone was doing squats next to my bed, I would be like, what is happening?
Yeah. Valid point, because I've done it 2 days. She did wake up today.
Yeah.
And it threw her off. Yesterday she didn't. So I thought it was going to be smooth sailing, but she didn't seem to care.
Went right back to bed?
Went right back to bed, but you know what happened? I turned on a bunch of lights, though.
Yeah, that probably would do it, yeah.
Yeah. It was the bathroom light. I brushed my teeth right away, but I probably didn't close the door, so the light was, and then, so it was a whole thing, but other than that, the alarm clock app, amazing. Yeah. It's going to be a life changer, for sure.
To be noted, it is a paid app, which kind of is a huge bummer, but worth it. I think so. I think it's going to be life changing for me, so I'm willing to pay. I forget how much it costs, but I'm willing. I
think it was $59.99 a year. You didn't tell me that was a paid app until I downloaded it and was like done setting it up, and then it was like, "Pay? Do you want to pay per month or for the year?" And I was like, "Is she in on this?" Use
promo code Catherine.
Yep. We should try to get sponsored by them.
Yeah, we should.
I really have high hopes for this new integration into our lives.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll keep everybody updated.
We will,
on it. So.
All right. Well, let's get into some drinks.
Yeah, because it is Friday.
It is.
And what do we have
thirsty.
here?
I didn't know these existed, but it's Blue Moon Light Sky.
Citrus wheat.
I feel like it might be like the light version of a Blue Moon because it's only 95 calories.
And like normally you would get a Blue Moon and put an orange in it.
Yep.
This already has some tangerine peel.
Brewed with tangerine peel, yeah.
All right, well, let's check it out.
I feel like it is also in line with our fitness goals, you know.
Gotta watch those carbs.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
Ooh. I didn't drink it yet. I just smelled it, and it's quite pungent.
Yeah, it tastes like a Coors Light with like 2 drops of orange juice in it.
Yeah, that's accurate. I kind of like it, though.
Hey, it's not bad. It's definitely not bad.
Yeah.
And speaking of our fitness goals,
don't
want to toot my own horn, but it's been quite a few months.
Yeah, been several months.
Lost about 25 pounds.
That's great.
Yep.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You've worked very hard at it, so that's really good.
Thank you. Really
good.
And what did we say today? The beauty's in the journey. Mm-hmm. So it's not all about results, but I'm starting to feel a lot better. I really let myself go. Really just completely gave up on. I was really in like a metaphoric sweatsuit. You know, like when people start wearing gray sweatsuits all the time.
Yeah.
I was like metaphorically in that zone. So now I'm out of that.
Well, that's really good.
makes me feel good. So
I'm really proud of you.
And yeah, the goals have been going great. So why don't we?
I've lost 10 pounds.
That is really great.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
I kind of joked about saying that I wanted to lose 10 pounds, and I wasn't really going into this with any sort of intention of losing weight. But Nice side effect.
Nice side effect. Yeah. Who would have thought eating right and working out?
Regular
Yeah.
exercise would do something? Not me.
Yeah. Well, we're doing great.
Yeah.
I think so.
I think so too.
The goal system has been working great. So if anybody out there wants to get on a goal system, do the gold star system.
Yeah.
Keep yourself accountable.
Who knew all the motivation you needed was just a little gold sticker?
Yeah. They say everything that you need in life you learn in kindergarten. Boom. Another proof right there. Sticker charts.
Yeah.
So,
Love that.
Yeah. Something to think about. Do you want to, should we get into the really heavy hitting stuff here?
Let's talk about it.
Okay.
So, like you said, we're going to talk about strengths versus weaknesses and, well, not verse, I guess.
Yeah, because I feel like strengths would win.
And weaknesses.
If you pin them up against each other, I think strengths would beat weaknesses.
Probably would win.
Yeah. Depends how many weaknesses there are, though.
Ooh, outnumbered.
Yeah, exactly.
What's the saying? Would you rather battle
one,
it's like frog-sized horse or
100 frog-sized, I don't think it's frog, but it's something like that. Would you rather fight one horse-sized frog or 100 frog-sized horses? Interesting.
Yeah.
Let us know. I don't know.
I think that's the saying. I don't know.
It's something. I don't think it's frogs, but it's something along those lines.
Yeah.
So.
All right. So I will start off with a fact that I found.
Oh, okay.
According to a Gallup poll, which I hear that word a lot, Gallup polls.
Yeah.
I don't really know what that is, but I like.
That's funny because I do have something to say about that.
What?
The book that I'm reading this week, Strengths-Based Leadership. It's written by Gallup.
The guy who made Gallup polls?
I'm still a little confused on what it is exactly. I think it's an organization that does like research.
That does polling, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I assumed, but I don't know like who funds that. I got a lot of questions about it because those things can be
biased.
They
can.
Depends on who's funding them. But anyway, I hear it used a lot, so hopefully it's a reliable
Probably
source.
reputable, yeah.
But they say only 2 out of every 10 people get to play up to their strengths at their job regularly.
Yeah.
Like that, like they feel as if they are utilizing their strengths.
Yeah.
That sounds sad. That's like depressing.
It does. And I think that a lot of people don't really, I feel like, know what their strengths are.
Yeah.
I think sometimes what people think their strength is really isn't. Mm-hmm. So you really need to, first off, it's good to just like learn more about yourself and like investigate what are your real strengths and figure that out for yourself. But like in a workplace, I think it can be really hard to like identify people's strengths and then put them in a position where they are playing to those strengths. Mm-hmm. Like you almost have to look at that from the very beginning, like hire based on, instead of position and like skill oriented hiring, you have to look at it as like strength based hiring. Like we need a person strong in this thing to fill this role, because otherwise if you just like already have a bunch of people working for you and then you try to shuffle them around based on their strengths, like it might not work. Like you might have too many of, one certain thing. So it can be, I feel like, kind of tough to implement on the fly. What do you think?
Yeah. That's interesting. And I kind of feel like in that kind of scenario, when you're hiring people in that way, that people with a certain strength will, hire other people with that strength because they are able to recognize that in another person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then it kind of just becomes the team full of
one
personality type.
Yeah.
Which is not what you want. You want a well-rounded team.
You definitely do.
So I think in that kind of realm, it's easier to kind of relate to other people with your same strength rather than maybe evaluate what your weakness is and seek people out with that strength.
Yeah, definitely. I think it has to be something that like you really have to consciously think about, because otherwise, like, I think people are just drawn to people that have similar strengths, because a lot of times that transfers over into personality and like, I can vibe with a lot of different types of people, but people that are like think like me and are creative and aren't as like organized. I feel like I just naturally get along with those people better right off the bat. So if I was going in just hiring people based on, their personality and, to a certain extent, certain extent skill set, then I feel like I would hire a lot of those people that are just similar to me.
Right.
And when you look back at it, that kind of rings true. Yeah. I think so.
That's true. Yeah. So how would you say, I think the first step is having like a real good deep dive into yourself and evaluating what your strengths and weaknesses are.
Yeah.
And I'd also like to add 2 other categories to this topic, like what you actually enjoy and what you don't enjoy. Because I feel like just because, like, you might really enjoy something, but you're not necessarily that good at it, but you really like doing it, or you have a strength and you really don't like doing it. Like, I was reviewing 10 contracts a day. That is not something I enjoyed at all, but I was good at it. So it was like that. Yeah. That was my strength. So I think that I like to add those 2 other categories to this topic because I think it matters when you're evaluating your job descriptions.
Yeah. Side note, what would you say made you good at reviewing contracts?
Patience and attention to detail.
Okay. God, that sounds like it would be my absolute nightmare.
Yeah. I didn't enjoy it.
Yeah.
But I would say it's most people's worst nightmare.
Yeah.
You just have to like have the patience to sit there and know that you're going to read a 40-page document with really confusing language.
God, that sounds... I'm sorry that you had to endure that. I really am.
Yeah.
But wow. But I commend the skill set that it takes to do that because not only would I be miserable doing that, I would be miserable at doing it. I would get fired immediately. I would not catch any discrepancies in any contracts because I would just zone out and I'd be like, I think this one looks pretty good. And those people seem chill. I don't think anything's going to come of this contract.
Yeah, true. Do you have anything that you feel like you enjoy doing but you're not good at? Or the other way around, I guess?
No.
You're good at everything that you like doing? Okay.
I don't know. I can't... Okay, lately... I don't know. That's a tough one. I think a lot of the things that I like doing, I've gotten a lot better at. Like, I'm not naturally suited for. But, like running.
Yeah.
I hated it for a little while, like year before, because I was just like so out of shape and it takes a little bit to get back into it. Mm-hmm. But I used to run a lot, like in high school in my early 20s. But when I started, I was really bad at it, but I enjoyed it and I got better at it. But it's not something that like I'm naturally geared towards and like naturally inclined to do. Yeah. So I would say stuff like that, like physical type of stuff, I don't think I'm like naturally like gifted at.
Right.
But I enjoy doing it. And another thing, I recently started messing around with the drums.
Yeah.
So I like doing that. Not very good, but I have fun.
But you like doing it.
Yeah. And I'm not really trying to get good. Just trying to...
You're just trying to do it for the enjoyment?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a new thing for me.
Very healthy, nice thing.
Yeah. I've never done that before with anything. I've never done anything for the enjoyment of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you? Do you think besides reviewing contracts, is there anything that you're good at that you... Or let's try the opposite. Is there anything that you're not good at that you like doing?
Usually, if I'm not immediately good at something, then I just am wholly uninterested in it.
Yep.
It's kind of my gig.
Okay. Seems like a healthy way to go about life.
Definitely no problem.
I'm not the best at this. I give up.
Don't want to unpack that later.
Yeah.
That I'm not good at, but I enjoy doing. I mean, I guess it's a cop-out answer, but I feel like exercise too. Like I am not good at running. My body does not enjoy it, but like mentally.
You enjoy it?
Mentally, I enjoy it. Yeah.
Okay.
That's the only thing that comes to my head. I mean, I'm sure there's plenty of things, but that's the only thing that comes to mind.
But everything else you're just really good at and you enjoy.
No, it's just that if I'm not, I give up on it immediately.
Okay. Yeah,
it's another personality trait. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that is an interesting distinction too, because we're kind of basing this around employment and job skills, your strengths. But sometimes there are things that you are good at, but you don't necessarily like. And where do you find that balance between pursuing something that you might not be the best at? It might not be your top strength, but it's something that you enjoy the most.
Yeah.
I think that if you stick with that thing that you really enjoy, you can turn it into a strength. Don't you think?
Yeah.
For
sure.
It might be a little bit more work because you're not naturally inclined towards it, but
absolutely.
I think if you stick with it, you'll be good.
Yeah. I think if you stick with it long enough, you inevitably will be good at it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think so. So flip the script, turn a weakness into a strength.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I got to try some new things.
Yeah.
So, okay. Before I have some other points that I want to get to, but before we get to that, let's discuss what is your strength and your weakness, because I'm going to use these as examples later. So what is what would you say your strength is? Just pick a strength.
I would say problem solving.
Problem solving. Love that.
I wanted to go with creative thinking, but we've kind of talked about that on the podcast already.
So we'll go with problem solving.
We'll go with problem solving.
Okay. Love that.
Yeah.
And what's your weakness? What would you say your weakness is?
I would say time management.
Time management.
Yeah.
That is a tough one. So
it is.
I get that.
Yeah, it is a tough one.
I get that.
I wanted to go with disorganization, but that one I feel like we've been over too. So time management's a little more specific.
Yeah.
So I'll go with problem solving is my strength.
Problem solving.
Time management.
Time management.
Definitely a weakness.
Yeah.
For sure. Big one. Big weakness there.
Yeah. Okay. So, like we talked about earlier, there are, should you go into fixing your weaknesses, or should you just recognize them within yourself and outsource them? Which there are two ways you can handle that. You can either try to compensate for them, which would be like an outsourcing, or you can try to overcome them. Is there any value in trying to overcome them?
I think it depends on what the weakness is. So time management, for example. It's hard to really, you could outsource that to an extent where I could get a personal assistant that follows me around and is like, Sean, your 10 o'clock appointment is coming up in 3 minutes. I've dialed the phone. Here it is. You could do that. And I guess if you're in a really high power position and you can afford that, certain people do that. But I feel like I need to get better at it to a certain extent, because I don't want to say it's not going to happen anytime soon, but maybe I will get a personal assistant that'll just be, right by my side. Sean, you have to do that thing now. Now it's time to eat your food. Now it's time to do that thing. But I do think that it depends what it is. Yeah. So if it is something that you can outsource easily, I'll say in business, accounting and bookkeeping, they're kind of organization stuff.
Yep.
You need to be really not with bookkeeping. You need to just kind of be on top of it. It definitely helps to be organized and all that kind of stuff. So that's something that's easily outsourceable. It's like a task that you can get rid of, get off of your plate. But time management, no matter what, you have to manage your time, no matter how many things you outsource. So I think that one in particular is worth investing in trying to improve.
Yeah. And I feel like some of these things are so intertwined with each other that it's just good to try to overcome them. Get yourself to a point where you're at least decent at these things, because if you outsource everything, then that's going to translate into your personal life. Then you're just not mindful of those other things, because you're just all right, I'm not good at it. Bye.
Yeah.
And it's also just healthy to have a mindset of learning and growth, and
I think that if you let your weaknesses, if you just ignore your weaknesses, they can actually get in the way of your strengths, depending on what it is. So I definitely find that with me, with time management, if I don't address that, time management gets in the way of my strengths sometimes, problem solving or creative thinking. I get so bogged down with other things that I let pile up that it doesn't leave time for me to do the things that I'm really good at. So I think that in particular is something that I need to improve on, because it is at times getting in the way of me working on the things that leverage my strengths.
Yeah.
So,
All right.
Catherine, well, what do you think your strength and weakness is?
I think that my strength is that I am adaptable. I think that I can like move and do different things and kind of pick them up quickly. I think I have the ability to do that.
Okay.
I'm flexible in that way, and it doesn't. Not only does it not bother me to do those things, I like enjoy it. I like kind of changing things around and trying new things and being adaptable. So when like things pop up unexpectedly, it doesn't like throw me off. I love,
thinking on your feet and
I love
just
doing that
going
kind of
with
stuff.
the flow.
Yeah.
I would say that your last profession and this profession could not be more opposite. So, and you're thriving in both. So I would say you're right. And we always say on here, adapt or die.
It's true.
You're still here.
I haven't
You
died
must
yet.
be adapting.
Yeah.
Good job.
Thank you.
Good job on that.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And my weakness, I think that maybe the flip side of that is like not allowing myself to really dig into one thing. Like I kind of look for that next thing.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Yeah,
I
you're
kind
always
of like change, so I'm always kind of looking for that next thing, and I don't.
Okay. Is this your way of like putting in your 2 weeks? Oh no.
Sorry.
What do we do with this
Sorry about that.
podcast?
No, things are constantly changing about this job, so that is keeping me
that's for
nice
sure.
on my feet, and I feel
That is
perfectly
for sure.
satisfied in my strength there.
Yeah. That's interesting. So you're so good at adapting, you want to just keep doing it. And that's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say so.
So I have broken this down into compensating and overcoming weaknesses. So
Okay.
let's talk about compensating for your weakness. Let's say it's something like bookkeeping or accounting, and you're just like, I'm never going to be good at accounting.
Yeah.
What do I do? Where do I go? The first thing you can do is identify an accountability partner. So identify someone within who's already in your circle who might be better at this,
Yeah.
and ask them for help. Because sometimes you're not in a position to like hire a new accountant, but maybe if you're like, hey, this person who's already in my circle, do you mind like taking a look at this or kind of showing me how to do it? Or
Yeah. Another good thing that you could do is, like, in that sense, partner up with somebody else that has a similar business that, maybe how to do the accounting and the bookkeeping, but it's more keeping up with it and staying on track. It's pretty easy when you stay on track with it and you're up to date.
Yep.
When you get far behind, that's when it gets super overwhelming. So an accountability partner in that sense, like, you just touch base with that person, like, how are your books? Did you reconcile your accounts this month? And I think that would probably work great.
Yeah.
It's kind of like our sticker chart.
A little bit, yeah.
Accountability. And you only need like a little bit of accountability. It's amazing how powerful accountability is.
That's true.
Because we're not getting a prize at the end of the week. We're just getting gold stickers that are meaningless, but in reality they mean a lot.
Yeah.
So accountability.
That's true.
Love
That's
that.
True. If you have the means and you want to kind of find somebody within your circle, train them. Make it a goal of yours to educate your people, train your people. If you see someone who like might be good at that, that person might be really good at bookkeeping or whatever that thing is. Educate them. Give them the opportunity to grow their career.
Yeah.
And it will come back and help you.
Yeah.
So I think I feel like everyone should really make ongoing education an opportunity for their employees.
Yeah.
And themselves. It's so important to keep learning and growing. And especially if you want the best team around, keep them educated and trained.
I agree. Yeah, I think that's super important. And also, I think that's something that I could start to do more of. Like, there's a lot of tasks within the business that I'm not the best suited for, that I just need to get over the hump of, like, initially showing somebody how to do this thing. And then usually once I do it, it's really easy, and I'm always so relieved that I've done it. But it's something to always be reminded of, that there are a lot of there's a million different tasks within a business. And a lot of times, the one that you're struggling with, look around you and somebody on your team is going to be better suited for that and maybe even just excel at it and enjoy it. So if you're in that frame of mind, I think that's a really good way to look at it.
Yeah.
So
it can be hard to delegate, but it's usually worth it.
It can, yeah. Some people are just real
Talk a big game, but there have been
freaks.
some things about this podcast that we're looking to delegate, and I am having a hard time giving up control. So
you've been hanging out with me in a van too long. Yep.
But when it comes to delegating, you also want to be mindful of not like just dumping these things on people who don't want to do it, because then they're not going to do a good job at it too. So be mindful of delegating, not dumping.
Delegating versus dumping. That's a good,
Because sometimes, as fun as accounting is, that other person on your team who might really be good at it, probably they might not like doing it. So.
They might not, yeah.
You don't want to also turn your employees away.
It's a good thing to keep in mind.
Yeah.
One thing that you mentioned that kind of brought up something that I learned in this book I'm reading. You said develop the people around you. Mm-hmm. It's one of the greatest characteristics of leadership.
Yeah.
I forget who said it, but they profile like a bunch of different like business leaders and stuff like that. And one of them said, prove to me you're a leader by showing me the people that you've developed. That's the sign of a true leader. Like, show me the people that you brought under your wing, took them from here to there. Show me how you developed them. That's what makes a great leader. Otherwise, the business might have done great. You might have just got really lucky with the right people. Leadership, in particular, is about developing people, seeing their strengths, really leveraging them and developing them. And so I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Yeah, something I'm gonna think about.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, just an idea. Just an idea. I'm gonna think about it.
All right.
So.
Yeah. So then the last one I have is, if none of that stuff works, just straight up outsource it.
Straight up outsource it.
If you can't overcome it, outsource it. So that's compensating for that role. If you're like, you know what? I need to get better at this. Like something like time management, like you said.
Yeah.
That's not going away. You can't really outsource it. I feel like even if you did get a personal assistant, then you would just get used to having a personal assistant in your professional life that it would then impact your personal life. And you'd be like, where's Jerry? I need him to tell me to...
Well, I feel like personal assistants, like when you have a personal assistant, they kind of like, they're by your side all the time.
I don't think so.
That's kind of how I'm envisioning it. Yeah.
You're like full celeb status.
Yeah. I mean,
okay.
I think you're thinking of more of a secretary.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking personal assistant.
Just straight up personal assistant. They live with you.
You know what I would be worried about though? I feel like my personality rubs off on the people that I'm around.
Yeah.
So I would be worried that like, what's his name? Jerry?
Jerry, yeah.
Jerry would, really just start to slack and be like, starting to think big picture. I'm like, no, Jerry, I need you to be
Jerry,
thinking
your
about
little picture.
You're
nitty
the
gritty.
smallest picture. I need you to stay small picture. So I feel like that would be a hurdle to overcome.
Yeah.
The more we're talking about, I feel like hiring a personal assistant would be so worth it. I feel like it would be.
They have like virtual personal assistants now. That's like a big thing. That doesn't
make any sense.
It's a big thing.
No, I need somebody with me to
hand you your lunch every day.
Just do everything for me. I don't know. Just keep me on just really squeeze the most productivity out of me.
Okay.
Like this 10 minutes is for you to send that email. Now you have to do this. Mm-hmm. That probably wouldn't work, but it seems cool.
Yeah, I guess I feel like it would have to be a very specific kind of person, because there have been several times where I'm like, Sean, you have to do this thing. Sean, you have to do this thing. Yeah. And you mostly just ignore me. So.
Yeah.
And you just go, I'm continuing what you were doing already. So, something to think about.
Yeah. Yep. All right. I'll continue to think about that, and we'll get back to everybody on my search for a personal assistant. Yeah.
Okay. So, if you decide that you want to overcome something,
what do you do?
Create an outline for professional development. Take your idea. If your thing is time management, don't just go, I'm bad at this. That's it. Like,
Yeah.
Look for resources on how there are books on everything, or there's YouTube videos on everything. Seek out those resources, seek out something, and then create an outline for yourself. Like set a deadline, or like set some. Well, time management isn't your best.
Yeah.
Probably setting
Yeah.
a deadline's not great, but take
casually mosey around into getting around to doing this.
Yeah, like search out those tips and then create a plan. Take a month and say, okay, this is how I'm going to get better at this thing. This is my chart for this. And maybe time management might have not been the best idea for that.
Because what another one of my weaknesses is? Creating systems. It's really not one of my strengths.
Okay.
But
these are just ideas and things to balance. So, maybe overcoming isn't what you're going to do. Maybe compensating is going to be what you're going to do.
But you know what? Maybe what I'm doing right now is just negative self-talk. And by just putting that out there, I'm limiting myself. Maybe I can get a lot better at it. I just need the right attitude.
It's true.
Maybe. And one thing I do feel that helps me a lot is with looking up resources and everything, like just listening to audiobooks, podcasts, stuff like that. It just like changes my mindset a little bit, and it makes me remember these little things, like the leadership thing. Like I don't remember who in the book said it, or I don't really remember like a lot of the details of the thing, but the details don't really matter. It's like more the sentiment and the mindset that it puts you in.
Yeah.
So I feel like that would probably be a really good thing. My next book, time management.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going to do for next week. Because I'm almost done this one. I'm going to find a book on time management. We'll check in next week, see how it's doing.
Yeah. I think that's a great idea.
You think that's a good idea?
I think that's a great idea.
Okay, we'll try it.
I think most of the stuff, it is mindset. Like you can't just resign to the fact that like you're bad at something.
Yeah.
That's the death spiral. You want to be in the mindset of, I have to overcome this. What can I do to do that? I have to look for resources. I have to.
Man, I'm learning so much about, because that, you know what that sounds like? What you're talking about? It sounds like what I said my strength was, problem solving. Here I am just focusing on the problem and not solution.
Yeah.
There's a solution.
There's a solution to everything.
Wow.
There's a solution. What is it? Oh, I can't even remember our quote. It's not a problem. It's just a solution you haven't found yet.
Yeah.
There it is.
And I found it. It's that I'm a strong problem solver. Okay.
Yeah. Another one, if you're going to overcome it, we talked about creating like some sort of peer review system. Find an accountability partner for that. It's also really helpful to find someone who has gotten past that hump, like who is also bad at time management, and say like, oh, what did you do?
Yeah.
How did you overcome that?
Yeah.
That's a worthwhile venture too.
And I think it's easier to listen to somebody or take advice from somebody that has been where you've been. Because if you talk to somebody that's just naturally really type A, organized, very good at time management, it's easier to say, well, I'm not like that.
I'll never be like
that. I'll never be like that.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, when somebody wants to lose a lot of weight and their trainer used to be 300 pounds, it's like, oh, well, I can relate to that.
Yeah.
A lot of times I think people look at like personal trainers or exercise people and they're like, well, that person, they have good genetics.
Yeah.
So I think if you can see somebody that has overcome it, I love that idea.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
Thanks.
Yeah, no problem.
The last thing I wrote down is challenge yourself, be patient, and be kind to yourself.
Yeah.
Don't just, you're trying and you're still bad at it and you're not making any progress. Be kind to yourself.
What do we say in the van?
It's hard to make change. What?
What do we say in the van?
What do you mean? We say a lot of things in the van.
We do say a lot of things in the van. No negative vibes ever?
Yep, that is what,
So
that's written on our board. It's very important.
Yeah.
You have to be patient. It's really hard to make like substantial changes as an adult. Apparently when you're a kid, your brain is more malleable and it's easier to make these kinds of changes. And when you're an adult, it's very hard. So just be patient.
Yeah.
You're trying, and that's what matters.
I think that brings up another good point, that any adults listening to this should force their young children to listen to this podcast.
That's
because
true.
right now they're at the stage where they can implement all of this stuff.
Think of the superhumans they could become if they listen to all of our.
Then they might overtake
banter.
us. Creating a whole supervillain type of scenario.
But that might be our story arc. We'll be old then. By the
That's
time
true.
that happens.
We'll be ready to pass on the reins.
Exactly.
Okay. All right.
we'll begrudgingly pass on the reins, and then
to these superhuman children that we have developed. Okay.
Yeah. So, okay, enough about weaknesses.
Yeah, I'm tired of talking about weaknesses.
We're sad about those. Those are fine.
Yeah.
We're going to work on them. We're going to get there. We're going to do it.
I'm excited to go over it next week and see how my journey into time management is going.
Yeah.
So I've already made the most important step, the first one, deciding I'm going to do it.
That's true. That's true.
I feel empowered.
Yeah. All right, so let's talk about strengths.
Okay.
How do you have this strength? You know you're good at something. Well, actually.
Yeah.
Do you have any tips on how to look within yourself and find your strengths? Because like you said, that can be hard.
It can be.
You might think you're good at something, and then the people around you are like,
Yeah. And I even had to like ask you, like, 'cause I think should we level with the people? And we had already picked out our strength and weakness.
We did.
I looked at you and I was like, that's a strength of mine, right? Do you think so? It can be good to like ask the people around you, whether it's an actual strength or maybe it's just you're perceiving it that way. Mm-hmm. But that's a tough one. How do you like, I think it's just through like experience.
Yeah.
And I don't know. That is kind of tough.
It's often very hard to be truly self-reflective. So if you really can't, like, if you can't evaluate what you're doing and find a strength in it, ask the people around you. Ask them what they think that your strength is. Or ask, if you're an employee, ask your employer. If you're an employer, ask your employee. Like, have an open and honest conversation. Figure out, what your strengths are. I remember when I was looking at colleges with friends, and we were all kind of deciding what we were going to do with our lives or whatever. I had a friend who was like, I don't have a single strength. I'm not good at anything. I can't think of a single thing that I'm good at. And I was like, that's such a sad mentality to have. I truly believe that every single person has something that they are good at.
Yeah, that person sounds like they're really good at feeling sorry for themselves.
That always stuck with me. That like,
who said that? Let's put them out.
I'll tell you later. I'm not going to tell you now. But I truly believe that every single person is born with some sort of natural ability to be good at something.
Absolutely.
And finding that might be hard, and it might be, obvious to you, but it's obvious to somebody else who's close to you. So. Yeah.
And you also have multiple strengths. Like, it's not just one specific thing. So I think a lot of people could probably identify at least one or two things that they are strong in. Mm-hmm. But there are other areas that you might have a lot of strength that you're overlooking. So, and same thing with weaknesses. You might be able to identify one or two, but there might be other things that you're kind of struggling with day to day, and you're not really putting it together. Why? Because you haven't like really identified it. So there are a lot of like online tests and different stuff like that. Not like a BuzzFeed one, like
what kind of pickle are you?
Yeah, exactly. There are like scientific ones like to find strengths and weaknesses based on your personality type. So those can be a good way to get the ball rolling.
Yeah, that's a great one. There's that. Oh, man.
It's like
I'm an INFJ or whatever. What's that person?
Yeah. I can't remember. Google personality type INFJ, and the personality test will come up, and it's so many questions, and then it tells you. It's like two people's names. It's like the. Yeah. You Gil
keep talking,
Bridges.
and I'm going to Google it, because this is important, and I'll just.
I do remember that I think I was like an INTJ or something, and I'm totally not sure if that's right at all, but I think I was like the same as Kanye West. So.
Whoa, Myers Briggs.
Myers Briggs test, yeah.
Myers Briggs test. That is it's so many questions, and you have to go through it, and it gives you like a really in-depth description of your personality type and your strengths and your weaknesses. So that's a great resource.
You know what we should do? What? Because I think I did that at some point. I think Sarah was studying that in college or something.
Yeah.
And we took it. Or she was at one of her jobs or something. They were doing something with it. So she pulled it up and I took it. But I can't really remember. It would be cool for us to both do that.
Yeah.
Compare it. Talk about it on a future episode.
Yeah. That's a great idea.
So maybe we'll do that.
Yeah. I've had to do that for like employers before.
Really?
Yeah.
To just see if they want to hire you?
It wasn't part of the hiring process. It was like further along and like they would do it as like your team, and everyone would do it, and then they would
assign tasks based on that.
No, they wouldn't assign tasks, but they would just say like it was kind of like a compatibility test. Like these are how you like you and your boss. This is how you will overcome problems together. This is how you will accelerate whatever. Like it just kind of helped you learn how to interact with people. And some people think that it's like ridiculous and woo-woo hippie stuff, but it helps a lot. It like it's kind of self-reflective without being. It's impartial self-reflection because it's like a test telling you.
Yeah. Did you find that it was helpful in your interactions with people, like that it was accurate?
Yeah.
Like
I do
a little bit.
I feel like it didn't necessarily change the way that I interacted with people, but I do think that it kind of was like, oh, that makes sense that Judy freaks out when something goes wrong because that's just part of her personality. But, like it kind of helps you realize things, but it didn't necessarily change my
interactions,
like how I interacted with people.
Interesting. Yeah. Interesting. I think that would be cool to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. We should get the whole team to do it. I feel like Ant would freak out.
I think that's a great idea. I think Anthony will hate it, but
stupid.
I think it's a great idea.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. So that's a way to if you're having a hard time identifying where your strengths and weaknesses lie, or you just want a little bit of a deeper dive on yourself, look into the Myers Briggs test. There are there's lots of them out there.
Yeah.
And all kinds of different like gurus probably have their own that you can pay for, and then they'll sell you a course on how to fix yourself. Maybe stay away from those. I don't know. But this one's pretty much.
That one's standard.
Very standard, very applicable to a lot of different things. And, it might be good to know, like, I'm a INTJ or whatever.
Also, the letters mean things. Like I is introverted or extroverted. I can't remember. But
N is like nice or mean.
It's
I don't remember.
It's not
either.
that, but like the last one is P or J, and that's perceiving or judging, and that's like how open-minded you are. Like it's good.
Okay.
It's good.
Yeah, I'm excited because, I think that'll be cool.
Yeah, we can talk about that at a later date.
Yeah, TBD.
Yeah. So next, with your strength, you're so good at this thing. Like you are so good at
problem solving.
Let's go back to the creative thinking thing.
Okay.
You're so good at creative thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes your biggest strengths can turn into weaknesses. Like if it is creative thinking or like ambition, you can do that to a fault and then it becomes a negative. So with your creative thinking, you can come up with all of these ideas that then you're doing a million different things and nothing's ever getting done because your weakness is time management. But you've created yourself this hole basically. So you have to be mindful of like balancing your strengths, not just going all in on that one specific thing and letting it become an actual weakness. Yeah.
I've dug a creative hole and fallen into it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That definitely applies with creativity because like you can sometimes go into like a creativity black hole.
Yeah.
Where like you're just thinking of like these crazy off the wall ideas that are good to think about and implement like a touch of this here, a touch of that there, and slowly integrate these ideas into your life or your business. But it can be a really big stumbling block when you really just get hung up on all of these things at once and you just kind of like drift off into this creative abyss.
Yeah.
And none of it's really integrated into your business or life and you kind of get stuck and it turns into I don't know if it turns into a weakness, but it stops being a strength because you're not producing real actionable results from your strength.
Right.
So that's interesting. I never thought of it that way.
Yeah.
So
something to think about.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's all I really had on strengths and weaknesses. Do you have anything else that you need to say?
Probably.
Yeah.
I probably got a lot more to say about it, I think. Let me think. Yeah. So one thing that did pop up into my mind, and I think it's a good analogy for the trades because you always hear the jack of all trades is the master of none.
Yeah, but what's the rest of that saying?
Is there?
Yeah.
Another part? What?
A jack of all trades
is the master of none.
Is the master of none, but still better than the master of one.
I think you just made that up.
No, I swear, there's the rest of it.
No, I don't think so. Anyway.
Master one quote.
This is complete nonsense.
The so-called jack of all trades was in fact from William Shakespeare. The full phrase is, a jack of all trades is a master of none, but oftentimes better than a master of one. It was a compliment.
What? Jack of all trades is a compliment?
Yeah.
Jack of all trades is the master of none,
but oftentimes better the master of one.
Well, that completely... I don't think he knew he was just like wrote plays. He doesn't know anything about the real world. And he was like, he doesn't even know what like a phone or a computer is, so forget him. I'm going to stick with my initial perception of that, where I didn't know that last part what existed in that quote. But what I read in this book, you don't want well-rounded people. You want well-rounded teams. Yeah. So you don't want one person that is, mediocre at a lot of different things. That's not somebody that's going to lead a high-performance team. You want you want a group of people that all have complementary strengths, then it creates one super person.
There you go.
So...
Love that.
I feel like we're getting there pretty good with our team. I feel like we do have complementary skill sets. So that's interesting to think about. And I think it can be tough if you already have an established company, like you've already got a decent sized crew. Like you're not going to look at these people and then just fire them just because like, oh, they don't fit into my new like mold of how I want to build this company. But it's something really important to look at when you hire people. Yeah. Like look at what their innate strengths are and how that is going to be a benefit to the overall team. So it sometimes doesn't have to do with their specific task or skill set, but somebody could be a really great communicator or a really good persuader or the list goes on. But you can look at those like personality strengths and how they can amplify their skill set within their job. Yeah. Something to think about.
It's quite eloquent.
I thought so too.
That was really good. Yeah.
That was another one of those times where like I just kind of go on a what do you call that? I don't know. Just like a ramble.
A ramble?
Yeah, like a
word vomit?
Something like that. Yeah.
Well, I think word vomit's bad, but same thought.
Yeah. A lot of times I do that. I just kind of
stream of consciousness?
Stream of consciousness.
There it
Bingo.
is. Yeah.
Exactly. That happens to me all the time. I'll be talking about stuff and like
you just black out and
I completely black out and then like I kind of come back to consciousness and then I'm like, oh wait, how am I gonna meet back up and wrap this thought up? But yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Maybe it's one of my strengths.
There you go, another strength.
Probably would have been a good freestyle rapper.
Oh.
Yeah.
Have you considered a career change?
Maybe. Hey, you never know. Something to think about.
Yeah. Something to think about.
Something to think about. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Secret question time.
Secret question. How long have we been going here?
53 minutes.
Oh my word, man! Time flies when you're
happy
just
hour.
Talking about your strengths and weaknesses.
Yeah.
I didn't know how long it had been because time management not one of my strengths, but by next week it will be.
Yep.
Secret question time. Okay, do you have one?
I do. Yeah. Do you want to go first or second?
I'll go. I'll go first.
Okay.
When you are dead and gone,
yep.
What do you want to be remembered for? Yeah, pretty heavy one. That's a heavy one. It's a heavy hitter.
Yeah.
So make sure it's good.
That's a really great question.
Yeah.
Oh. What do I want to be remembered for? I guess. I don't know. I kind of feel like I want to say something like I want to maybe get into doing wackier things and being like the wacky fun aunt or something.
Okay.
But
hey, yeah.
Like I want to be like the answer that I would go for is like being a kind person. But that's like
it's too generic.
It's too generic. Nobody really remembers the kind person. I think I want to do something real wacky. Get remembered for it.
Huh. Like what I'm thinking is like balloon animals, something like that. I don't know.
No, I don't know. I guess one of my personal goals is to like cross the ocean, sail across the ocean. So I want to do something like that, and then people will remember that I like took risks or something.
Okay.
I think that's
a good one.
That might be it.
Yeah. I think people would remember that. If you sailed across the ocean, they would be like...
I'm thinking about like my future family members.
Yep.
They'd be like, yeah, she was cool. She sailed across the ocean. Here's a picture of her on her boat, you know?
Yep. Yeah.
Other than that, I don't really care because I'm gone, so they can think
Good
whatever
point.
they want.
Yeah. Okay.
What do you want to be remembered for?
I swear, every time I forget that I'm going to have to answer this
eventually?
What do I want to be remembered for? I would say... Just that I always pursued what I thought was that I don't know, like sort of like that I wasn't afraid to take risks with my life path, and that this is a tough one.
That is it's a tough one.
What am I going to be remembered
Yeah.
for forever? Just that I did things for the right reasons.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah, profound. Love that.
I don't want people to think that I'm doing things for the money or for... Like, I always want to make decisions based on just what I'm passionate about and what I think is the right thing to do. Mm-hmm. So I want people to remember that. And that's what I think I want to set as an example for Max. Like,
yeah.
Always follow what you love and believe in, and that's always going to be more satisfying than, you know, something that you might make more money doing but isn't your passion and maybe isn't the right thing to do.
Yeah.
So
following it wholeheartedly.
Yeah. That's what I'd say.
I love that.
All
right.
Yeah.
Are you ready for my question?
Yep. What do you got?
So, recently, all those new cool NASA photos have been released. You know, all those
I haven't
like
seen them.
You haven't?
No, is that going to be
amazing? No, it's not part of the question.
Oh, okay.
It has gotten me thinking about all this stuff, and you have to see these photos. They are like, it's spectacular, and it makes you feel like
so small,
like a grain of sand. But
that's great.
Do you believe in aliens? What are your thoughts on aliens?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, like, I think it's insane not to. It depends. Okay, do you believe in life forms on other planets or galaxies or universes or whatever? Or wait, is the universe the whole thing? There's multiple universes even, right?
I think the universe is the whole thing. The galaxies.
There's galaxies, but then I think there's multiple universes.
Is there? I don't know.
I don't know. I don't think anybody knows.
I don't know
think
anything.
That's kinda just,
if I think too much about it, it makes my brain explode.
Yeah.
So, continue.
Okay, so I think there's a big differentiation between, do you think that there is intelligent life out there, or do you think that there are aliens that like have visited us on Earth?
Yeah.
I would say 100%. I think that there is life out there.
Yeah.
Intelligent life. Have they been here? I'm like 70-30 on that.
70 yes, 70 no.
I don't know. You'll have to. That'll be a whole nother episode.
Yeah.
This is getting kind of Joe Rogan-esque.
Oh no, that's not what I intended.
I would say 30% yeah, 70% no.
Okay.
I just feel like there would be documented pictures from somebody.
Yeah.
Like if that happened now, I mean, they say like, oh, it's all classified. Like there's nothing. Like somebody would they would do like
Post
a
it on
Facebook
the
Live,
internet.
and it would just be like up there, and instantly before there could be any cover up. So that's why I think probably not.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Yeah.
I saw that one documentary, Independence Day. Seemed pretty legit.
Yeah, that seemed pretty real. That did seem pretty well made.
What do you think?
I mean, I like, especially after seeing those photos, I like 1000% believe that there is intelligent life elsewhere.
Yeah.
I did hear like a lot of like scientists talking about it, and they were like, there's like a solid chance that there is intelligent life that does have the capacity to travel through all of these galaxies in a timely manner.
Yeah.
They just have got like passed by Earth and thought that there was no intelligent life there. Like they're so far past us that they just didn't even think to stop here. And I was like, oh man, that is wild to think about. So I don't really have an opinion whether I believe aliens are here or not. I don't,
You have to answer the question.
Then no, I don't think that they are.
No?
I don't think any other life forms are here.
Or have visited. At one point. No?
See, I don't know. I wasn't alive then. I don't know.
Alive when? What do you mean?
Like in the past. How am I supposed to know? Like,
no, I mean like somewhat recently.
in my lifetime?
Sure, yeah.
No, I don't think so in my lifetime.
No?
No.
What do you think, like maybe back in the dinosaur times?
Maybe. I don't know. I wasn't there.
Huh. Interesting.
Or like Roswell or all that kind of stuff. I don't know. I wasn't there. The technology wasn't there either. So how would you know? How could we know? How could we possibly know?
This isn't about knowing. It's about do you think. So you don't think so?
No. Maybe they came like a long time ago. Okay. I can't be sure. But I absolutely, like, looking at those photos, it is just mind-blowing how, like,
I'll have to
small
check those out.
and insignificant we are.
I'll have to check I mean, I just think it's insane to think, like, this is the only place in the entire universe, like, that, like, people like us, like, or just life would exist. Like, that just seems obviously insane.
Yeah.
But.
Yeah. But it is cool to think about.
It is,
like
yeah.
It's
a little spooky.
Yeah.
A little spooky.
I know. I can't think about it too much. It makes my brain explode.
Yeah.
All right. Glad we got that alien talk out.
Oh, I'm so glad.
I wasn't thinking of the Joe Rogan-esqueness of I just thought it was like a fun, like those pictures are timely, so I thought it was, I wish you had seen them.
I know. I should check those out.
Yeah, definitely
They're
check
all the
those out.
rage. Yeah.
They're really cool.
You think they're real?
Absolutely, yeah.
You don't think it's one of those, it's like a picture of like that spray paint art? You know, where they put like the bowl over the thing and
then
it
could be. It could be.
Those are pretty cool.
Those are.
Yeah. All right. Well, do you think that we've broken this down enough?
I think we've covered everything we need to for today.
You think?
We're right at our happy hour.
We're right at our happy hour.
People are ready to.
And I think one of maybe one of my new strengths I'm going to work on is not rambling so much at the end of these episodes. So let's just wrap it on up.
We've gotten comments that people like our squirreliness. So
they do?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So.
Well, all right. Well, buckle up. We're just getting started then. No, we'll have another great topic for you next week. I'm really excited to check in on how my time management's going.
I know. That was going to be one of my wrap-up questions. How are you going to overcome or are you going to compensate? So I am excited to see next week.
I think I'm going to overcome. And I just hope that I can find something as impactful as Alarmy for time management. That'll be my task. So stay tuned, everybody. All right. Well, till next time, this has been the Hardworking Happy Hour.
See you next week.